There once was a gentleman, a nobleman by the name of Juan de Coronado de Falazzi. And he lived a nobleman's life of dogs and hawks and hunts and banquets. And his hunts and banquets were so renowned throughout the countryside that people were just on pins and needles hoping for an invitation. On one hunt, his hawk brought down a crane. And it was a nice, plump, young crane. And so he had it sent back to the manor house with a messenger to give to his foolish but marvelous cook, who was a Venetian named Cathivio. And Cathivio took that crane and he very carefully removed the skin and the feathers. And he fixed it and he stuffed the inside with nuts and currants and berries and put it on a spit. And it turned and it turned and it was roasting so beautifully. The entire kitchen smelled wonderful. And in the door came Donna Brunetta. Now, Donna Brunetta worked on the estate, and Cathivio was quite taken with Donna Brunetta. In fact, he lusted after her. And Donna Brunetta came in and she was like, "Oh my goodness, that smells like heaven. Oh, Cathivio, you must give me a leg. Oh, it smells marvelous." "Oh, no, no, no," said Cathivio. That's for Don Coronado. You can't, no, I can't give you one." "Oh, Cathivio," she said, and she rubbed up against him. "Surely nobody would notice one little piece." "Oh, no, no, this is the presentation that I'm making at the table. I couldn't possibly." And she began to nibble his ear. "Oh, Cathivio." And he said, "No, no, I can't do it." "What?" said Donna Brunetta. "Then you won't get anything you want from me." And she turned around and headed for the kitchen door. Well, Cathivio saw his chances about to leave, and he said, well, maybe, come back. And he gave Donna Brunetta a leg from the crane, which she devoured and heaped compliments upon him. But then he had to shoo her out of the kitchen because it was time to prepare for the feast. And he took that bird and he put it on skewers. And he put the feathers and the skin back on the bird. And he placed it on a platter with cattails and all sorts of to make it look like the bird was right from the riverside. It took 8 men carrying the platter in to the banquet. And as they did, the guests all stood up and applauded. It was magnificent. And they sat the crane down in front of Juan Coronado. And as his guests sat down and began to eat, he noticed that the crane had only one leg. So he sent a messenger to the kitchen and asked for Cathivio to come out from the kitchen. And Cathivio came out and he bowed down and he said, "Yes, master." And he said, "Cathivio, this crane only has one leg." "Ah," said, cranes, a lot of cranes only have one leg." "Oh," said Donna Coronado. "You think that I do not know that cranes have 2 legs? Do you take me for a fool?" "Oh, no, but there are many cranes with one leg. At some point, maybe I could show you one." "Oh, you'll show me one," said Donna Coronado. "You will show me one tomorrow morning. Or by God, when I'm done with you, you'll remember my name for the rest of your life." He did not wish to bandy more words with his cook in front of his guests, and so he sent him away. Don Coronado was so aggravated that he would tell such an outrageous lie in front of his guests that he was up all night, pacing and muttering, and just as the sun came up over the horizon, he called for his horses. He had 2 horses bought, and poor Cacchio, his knees a-knocking, didn't know how he was going to prove his lie. And he was petrified, and he did not know how to ride a horse. So they had to put Cacchio on the horse and tie him on so that he wouldn't fall off. And off they went. They went down along the riverside, and Cacchio, he would have taken that horse and run if he had only known what direction to go. But he didn't have a clue. And he was riding along, and every crane they saw had 2 legs, and he didn't know what to do. And just then they came over a rise, and along the edge of the river were 6 cranes. And those cranes were asleep. And when cranes sleep, they tuck their head under their arm, and they raise one leg. And so Cacchio said, "There! See, Don Coronado, they have but 1 leg. Those are the one-legged cranes." And Don Coronado said, "Well, we'll see about that." And he spurred his horse, and they went galloping down toward the cranes, and he yelled, "Ho, ho!" And the cranes put down their other leg, and they took off flying. And he spun his horse around, and he came back to Cacchio, and he said, "Cacchio, what say you now?" "But Lord, you didn't yell ho ho last night. If you had, the crane would have put down his other leg." Don Coronado was so unexpectedly struck by this answer, he was taken aback. And then after a few minutes, he could not help but laugh. And he said, "Ah, yes, Cacchio, I should have said ho ho." And so Cacchio kept his job and served gorgeous banquets for many a year.